Today is March 8th, 2024. My name is Karen Sue, and I'm here today interviewing Tram Nguyen on behalf of the Houston Asian American Archive at Rice University. So let's start off. Can you tell us what your full name is and when were you born?
My name is Tram Nguyen, and I was born in Saigon, Vietnam.
Can you tell us what year you were born?
Oh, 1965.
Thank you. Um, Let me move to some questions about your family. So, do you have any siblings? And if so, how many siblings do you have?
So my family is a big family. I have one older sister, one younger sister, and uh, four younger brothers. So total is seven of us.
That is a big family.
It's big.
So, how was it for you growing up in Vietnam? Can you describe your childhood and family life?
Yeah, so I spent 21 years in Vietnam since I was born up to when I turned 21. The life in Vietnam is very, what I call, we consider as poor family. My, my parent, both of my parents worked really hard to provide what I call a financial and, all the financial and physical for all of us seven children is very demanding. Have 3 meals a day and going to school, seven of us is the top priority for them. My mom is the teacher, and my dad at this time, he was in military U.S. Air Force, and he played a role as accountant, take care of payroll for his military unit. I can see how when I grow up, we don't have the luxury or what I call a normal life, like every children in Vietnam, what I call a middle or upper level. We barely have 3 meals a day. So every single time that my mom or my dad come home with, you know, empty basket from grocery or supermarket, that's the time that dinner or lunch table, you can tell the parent actually don't have what I call a protein in their meal because they save that for the seven children. And with the seven children, seven of us is actually the older one will sacrifice for the younger one. So it's a tough situation grow up in Vietnam that we don't have a lot. Um, in return, we have actually come up with many idea or innovation, to be survive and to be happy. Seven of us always get together. We always play games, and we come up with a game that using your own imagination. We learn how to dance. The older one show the younger one how to dance, and then we tell stories, and we enjoy. I think that's the best memory in my life is we come up with so many things that we can entertain each others. Not like children in America, they have, laptop computer, they can go to movie. Um, the first time that I actually go to movie is when I come to USA. So that's just something that I think when you come here, people always say, um, don't take for granted. That's exactly how you apply it in those situations. When you don't have many things, whatever you have at that moment is you treat it as like treasure, right? Um, I remember when my grandmother from USA sent us a gift once a year. When she actually sent it home as a package with clothes, candies, shoe, backpack, everything that she saved, that she work and make money from USA. She sent it home. That package is actually for us is like treasure every year. I remember there's, all the raisin in the boxes, little box. We are not allowed to eat one person one box. So my mom will open that box and actually divide it up. So if the raisin in the box, say 30 of them, so 7 of us, we each have 4. So this is how poor that we are at that time. And I remember meat is something that what I consider luxury for any meals during the day, right? We don't have meat until the day that we receive the gift from grandmother. So the protein that we consume daily is very limited. And for me, is at that moment when you was young, that's just not important. You don't know what else to ask for. You just know that this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you don't have one of that, then you skip and go to the next, the next meal. The only thing that I am very proud of all of my siblings, we get together and we hang out together very close. We very focused in school because we know one day that is actually the key for us to get out of poor and poverty. Parents always reminding us that is important. So for us at that moment, we don't have so many things to play with. So most of the stuff we do, we focus on the schoolwork. And at the time for me, I remember 7 of us, we do so well that, at the end of the year, school year, we do so well that we all get what I call certificate for consider like straight A student or the best student of the whole school, like elementary or middle school or high school. Every single year like that, we cannot wait for that moment to happen. The reason because your name been called, right, to get up to the stage and receive the certificate. And that's just a thing that we celebrate, and it's a big deal for 7 of us. And I remember we all did so well that the school of elementary, middle, or high school have the label to call us, say the Nguyen family. So every time we show up and they say, there you go, they will all take the diploma and certificate from the school from all other classes. That's just one thing, Karen, that I feel like the best memories when I was young.
Yeah, those are some great memories, especially given how difficult it could be growing up in poverty. But it sounds like you and your family really made the most of it.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that your parents really valued education. Your whole family really valued education. I want to ask if there were other values that your parents emphasized in your upbringing.
Another value that we always, and we keep that up to today, is the tradition. I don't know, Asian people, we respect old elderly, right? The respect is actually coming from within your family first. If you respect your parents, your grandparents, and then when you go to work, you respect your boss, you respect people who you work with. That's always stay with us because I think this is something that naturally coming from Asian family. You can see that the way how we say hi and bye to other people, we always show the respect like this. You bow like that. It's actually, this is a symbolism for me. It's coming from Asian culture. You learn when you're actually born, and this is how they raise you. And that tradition is carried out throughout the time I'm coming in here When I was 21 and I get married, I have two children, and all seven of us is actually married. We all have children. It's become a bigger family now, but that tradition carry throughout more than, I think, 38 years when we are here in USA. Um, we look at, traditional culture is just a key and it's just important for who you are, where you come from. It doesn't matter later on you become doctor or lawyers, or you're the owner of the company or CEO, CFO. Never forget where you come from. That's the root. And for me, it was tough when I come to USA 38 years ago because I always wish I was born in USA. I wish I can speak like American people. I wish like I look like somebody out there, tall, blonde hair, speak really well, can communicate, can socialize. At that moment, whatever my parent taught me, I wish everything flipped because it's become a barrier. You have to deal with so many things, and you always feel like people treat you differently because how you look. People treat you differently because how you talk, right? And you just feel like you want to hide. You want to hide your identity. And for me, it's not because I'm not so proud of myself. But I just feel like so much challenge that I have to face with. Um, and how can I change that at that moment, Karen? I have nobody to talk to. Communication become another what I call like barrier for me. I came to USA learning from ABC, right? Language is actually not a barrier for us. So you try to isolate yourself to the community, to people who you work with, people who is your friends, because you don't look like them and you cannot share. You cannot share your story, you cannot share your feeling, and you become isolated and you just don't know how to deal with it, right? If you have somebody to talk to, you have to talk and speak out in English to get the support and understand from others. So that's just something that I feel like is the biggest challenge when I actually come to USA and deal with carry on the traditional culture at the same time facing with something that completely opposite.
Thank you for that response. I would like to go back a little bit and ask about, so you had mentioned having this one tradition at the end of every year, right? But I want to ask if there are other holidays like Tet, how you
Yeah.
celebrate with your family, and if there are any other traditions you wanna mention.
Yeah, so the tradition that we always do together, we New Year. That is actually a big deal, right? And I actually still have my red envelope right here. Um, I I celebrate New Year with my parents' traditional way, right? So the first 3 days of New Year, we dress new clothes. Um, we have something that we have to remember. The age, the age and the people are not compatible for that year, not allowed to walk in the parent house. So we all talk between each other before we start going and visit and greeting Happy New Year to my parents. That tradition is actually become not within my family. I actually share that tradition with my company who I work for. And Sequent Energy Management is the company I work for. This is my year 20. I've been there so long, and it's become my second family too. I volunteer, I think maybe 10 years ago, to become founder and also chairwoman for AAPI. Since I accept the position, I want to do my best and show to everybody that is actually something need to celebrate, not only with community of Asian people, but for American, especially in Houston. This city is so diverse. Sharing that is actually become a big deal to me and to my family as well as my coworker. I remember is one year when I host Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year for my company. We have people we call customer from international coming from South Korea, people from Japan. They feel so welcome and they feel like celebrating New Year away from home. It's something that you get together and you make it happen, right? And you feel you are home, even though you're not at home. And I think this is value, that value carry through generation from my grandparents to my parents to me and now to my children. I will retain that tradition, until I think until the one day I won't exist anymore. But right now I feel like everybody, not within my family, outside my family, that's tradition is a big deal. And people actually learn what does Lunar New Year means, what kind of food do we eat, why do we have lion dance, what is actually meaning behind of each uh, festival activities that we carry in the New Year day. Second tradition that we always do, we do family reunion. Um, Different than in Vietnam. In USA, we're all over the place. In Vietnam, you grow up, you get married, you stay in the same house, right? The house got bigger and bigger with many members. In USA, that tradition cannot carry. The reason because I don't think this is how we grow up. I don't think that's healthy either. And plus with the, education, you get out, you get a job, you move. So family reunion is the key to get together. And we are staying for, luckily, seven of us, we're not in different states. We are in Texas. Three of my brothers in Dallas, my sisters, and one of my brother in Houston, my parents in Houston. So the reunion bring all of us together. We always sit, up to midnight, and we talk about the young age, the game that we made, the time that when we were poor, that we have nothing to eat and we don't have TV to watch movie. So we actually do storytelling and we share that. I think that moment for us will never go away. So family reunion, all of that is coming back and we enjoy that moment. So beside that is family reunion is important for my parents and also important for seven of us.
Okay, so I would like so take me back to your early educational experiences. So that is elementary school, middle school.
Mhm.
What schools did you attend? Were there any teachers and experiences during your early education that inspired you in your career?
Yeah, so I went to elementary and middle school and also high school in the district that outside of Saigon. So that school called Ang Lac, right? I love that school because people in the city and people outside the city have different lifestyles. People outside the city more closer to family. Um, Friendship for me at that time, like family. It's not just like I get to know Karen or I get to know Angela, and that just happened in school. People from outside the city, their lifestyle is more like when they get to know you, they get to know your family. They get to know your parent, your sister, brother. So my friends is actually a friend with everybody in my family. So that's just how outside the city tradition and culture a little bit different. I get so close to everybody in my school, not just my classmates, the whole school. And the school not big either. It's maybe 300 children together. One of my favorite teacher is my French. It's called language teacher. Is at that time I I don't learn English, but at the moment, I did not know that I'm coming to USA. So I learned French. I know for some reason I love language. I feel like this is something fantastic. How can we communicate with somebody else in different language and they understand? We don't look like them. We don't have anything in common, but we can communicate through language. So I love that class so much. And I remember if my teacher show up a little late, I get really the anxiety increase because she's not there. I don't want her to like get sick or absent that day. I count down every single minute just to see her. And I do really well. I think one thing I always remember, when you love something and you're passionate about something, you will never feel tired and you will try your best to make it happen. And that's just when I was young. That's actually for me, learning that language is actually the key for me at that moment. Many subjects I do well, but for some reason, the language teachers track me and pull me in more because I see the importance of that communication. Other than that, I love the class that I attend for 12 years in Vietnam. The day that I left Vietnam, I think for family, I know that for a longest time I will be back and visit them. But for that, I do remember 7 days before I come here, I cry every single day. The reason because I don't know when is the day I come back, right, and see my school again. Is my all my classmates still there? Is my teacher still there, or I would never see them again? So that's just the moment in my life that I will never forget. Is walking out and left Vietnam and left everything behind.
Can you describe what it was like living during the Vietnam War? How did it impact you, your family, friends, your neighborhood?
Um, when communists, okay, so it's my life is divided in two different phases. So I born in 1965, right? From the day I born to 1975, that's 10 years of my life. Um, I don't think financially is the problems. Family survive, what I call an average family. We have everything that we need to survive. So when 1975 is coming, when communists take over Vietnam, so many things is so what I call limited. My dad's actually have to go to a concentration camp because he worked for U.S. government. He has to go to the camp. My mom is the only what I call financial resource, taking care of 7 of us. It's become very what I call more difficult when you have one parent take care 7 children and they are younger age. So if I'm 10 years old at that time, the youngest person is maybe newborn baby. So this is how far 7 of us, right? Um, I have to be, you know, when I was 10 years old, but I'm acting a role as like 15 years old, sister or daughter at home. Um, my mom doesn't have money to hire maid to help with, housing the housework so she can go teach. I remember daytime teaching, nighttime she do sewing clothes to make extra money. And then depend on my grandmother who left Vietnam in 1975, send money home yearly. That's just another resource from outside to help my parents, bringing all of us survive day in and day out. I know it's tougher for me and my sister who, graduate high school and ready to go to college. If your family, one of your parents or both of your parents working for U.S. government, the application to go to college almost will be eliminated because you belong to the old government side of it, right? So it doesn't matter how good you do in school, you might not survive and you might not enter into college. And in addition to that, it would be tough for all of us because we apply to leave Vietnam to the program called ODP. The reason because my dad is working for U.S. Air Force. He legally can apply for that program, so he can take 7 of us, to USA. The process takes very long. So during the time that I finished high school, when I'm 18, from the time I'm turned 18 to 21, those 3 years for me, I cannot actually go in any school at that moment. If I violate any policy, that might hold me back because I applied to leave the country. If you think about that, it just put you into a situation, teenager grow up, but don't know where your career is heading to. So my mom sent me to what I call the school, teaching me how to do embroidery. So I learned how to embroider and then do that in addition to, whatever I can do to help my mom make extra money. Because the other 5 children is much younger than me. They cannot do anything at that moment. So I embroider pillow, dresses, curtains, everything I can do. I do from early morning to late at night, 7 days a week, up to the day I left Vietnam. It's very challenging because you see your classmates, everybody graduate and go to college and move on, right? People get married, dating. I was not allowed to date anybody because if I have boyfriend, girlfriend, then that's what make the situation more difficult because the process that we apply to get visa to leave. So we in the 4 wall of the room, you cannot have friends, you cannot go to school, you cannot actually go to work. So much stuff you do is like you do to survive every day until the day you leave, right? So it's for me, I think it's just that 3 years is very tough at that moment. For girls grow up in Vietnam, traditionally, Vietnamese female or women, you don't need to go to college. When you finish high school, it's time to get married and have children. All you do after you get married, having children, take care of your family, right? So education is not important. Not my family only, almost every single family in Vietnam, that's tradition. Women at that moment treat low and they don't treat women high education. You don't need to. I don't understand why, but that tradition is actually carried for a longest time that I've been learned from history and also learned from my grandparents and my parents too. Is this something that when I come here to USA, that's a big change. That's a big change because they look at female different. Yeah, they treat female and males, I think, like equivalent. If you have the knowledge, you want to go to school, you have condition to go to school and finish and get your college degree. That's the big change when I come here. Something that I think opened new window for me that I feel like I would not have that opportunity if I am in Vietnam.
Can you tell me what year you left Vietnam and how did you leave?
Okay, so we left Vietnam in 1986. The My dad applied, through the ODP program because he in the U.S. Air Force. So the process take almost like 11 years. So from 1975 to 1986, this is when the paper get approved. We have the ticket to fly to Thailand and from Thailand, we go to Philippines and stay there for 6 months. The government, USA government, pay for what I call training program at the camp, and we stay at Philippine, I think, camp for 6 months, and then after that we come to USA. So January 9, 1986 is the day I left my country, and July 1986 I come to Texas. Since then I stay here, and it's been quite long that we decide not to leave Texas and always stay here. I think because so many Vietnamese people and community grow bigger and bigger. I think Vietnamese are the biggest community in Houston now. That's make you feel like you are away from home, but you are home. The reason because of the diversity in Houston.
Did your whole family immigrate at the same time?
Yes. So when my dad applied, is my dad, my mom, and 7 of us. So we all come at the same time. 9 of us is actually here. The reason why we come to Texas because my grandmother, the person who sponsored us, she's from Texas. So she left in 1975, and she traveled many places, but she landed Texas, Houston, Texas, and that is why the paperwork say, where do you want to go? If the sponsor in Texas, you come to Texas. If I don't have my grandmother in Texas, and if somebody from California sponsor us, we might go in California. But at the moment, because my grandmother here, she resident in Texas, that's why we all coming in here.
So moving to the US to Texas, what were some challenges that you faced with your adjusting to your new life? Like, for example, did you experience any discrimination coming to the US?
Oh, this is really for me. I don't know how I make it today, Karen. When we came here in July 1986, none of us actually can speak English, right? That's the first, I think, the biggest challenge, that you cannot talk to anybody, any community. The community service at that time for Vietnamese or Asian community is not strong like now. You barely can find anybody helping you. First, communication, we can't speak, we can't talk. Second, we have no money, right? Third, we don't have money, so we don't have transportation. You have to learn everything. You start your life from zero. I remember each of us is actually have 2 outfits when we come here. So the first thing that my dad did, he put his name on one of the Vietnamese, what I call monthly newspaper. He put his name there, and he tell them where he at, he need help. So the monthly newspaper came out. People who join Air Force with my father that come to Texas, they actually read that newspaper and they found us. So people found us and they come in, and then, or some people come today and say, hey, let's everybody get in the car, we take you to Social Security office. You need to do application. One person take us go to church. If at the church, people do donation. Some people is actually bring clothes to our house. So it was funny, like one weekend, the garage looked like garage sales, because a ton of people bring whatever they have to the house. I remember the first thing that we walk into the house that we rent, we didn't have AC. So we don't know how to connect AC. We don't know how to call the electricity, and we don't have phone. So everything started out, it looked like we homeless people. So we lay down on the floor, open the window. I remember July was so hot. That season is really hot. We opened the window, we slept in the house with no AC. I remember in the subdivision, there's one doctor, family doctor, and I helped I don't know if he still survived, Dr. Minh Nguyen. So that house is his house. That's the second house he had. And at the moment, he doesn't do anything with the house. And he find out my family is actually need a place to stay. So he opened his option, give us that house to stay, and then we can pay him later when we have money. So he was so generous that let my family and I people move in, right, stay there. So I remember that it's so funny that he saw 9 people in the house with no AC. So nighttime after the his office closed, he come over and say if any of us want to join his house with AC, so we can come over, just take some air, right? So I remember that day, and his parents is like my grandparents is older, so we actually talk to him and hang out with him for 1 or 2 hours, and then go back home and sleep. Um, we were so blessed that we have him that's supporting us at that time, and I feel like from that moment, um, school become secondary to me. The reason because with 9 people, we need to eat, right? We need the AC, we need electricity, we need a lot of stuff. It's coming from money. So my sister, my oldest sister, me, and my next brother is 3 people that who actually can actually put school on the side and start working immediately to survive. So I did not think about going to college or learning ESL, nothing at that moment. We need to survive. So I actually ended up work for a candy store and owned by Vietnamese owner. So she accepted me as employee, and I just sit and pack candy from 8 to 5. I just every day I pack candy. They make candy, I put candy in a package, and they still pack it and they sell. Um, I remember after second month staying in USA, I told my mom, I want to go back to Vietnam. This is not what I expect. This is not future that I'm looking for. Because yes, in Vietnam we're poor, but we are not that poor and so desperate for support, right? In Vietnam, you have your relative, you have your grandmother, grandfather, you have aunt and uncle, we have community around you. Over here, you're completely stuck, that you have nobody. So I told my mom, can we come back home? This is so hard on us. And my mom say, when you actually submit the paperwork and leave, it's just one way. So you have to survive. No matter what, we asked her to go back home. I do remember my brother, he worked at the supermarket in the fishing department. You know, when he was young in Vietnam, he never touched any housework. Coming in here, he have to go to supermarket and clean fish. And he cut his hand. He got home, his hand was swollen, like get infection. Um, and plus we don't have cars. So if my dad take me go to work and drop my sister off and then drop him off, and then by the time he come home, he have to pick one of us up, right? Because only one car for 9 people to move around. I remember my brother cannot wait for my dad. He walk home like at nighttime, and his hand is bleeding. Those is the what I said, like sitting right here talking to you. I don't know how I get here because the first days in this country was unbearable. It's really hard.
Yeah, it sounds extremely difficult. I
Yeah.
don't know how my parents did it either. It's incredible. Like
Yeah.
going from nothing, no language, nothing. So when were you able to attend college, and what colleges did you attend?
So remember the candy lady, my boss, my first boss in this country. Um, she talked to me every day, and she found out that I have big families. I have sister brothers too. So she one evening, she paid me $3.25. I remember every hours. So every week she paid me weekly salary, and I'm really happy at the Friday when I get paid. I bring home all the money and give it to my mom. It's like for me, it's a big contribution that I'm so proud that that money can buy many things for the family, right? So my boss found out that I have so much to do at my age at that time. And she have children at my age too, and they have luxury life. And she's Vietnamese and she can connect to the lifestyle that we have in Vietnam and coming here dealing with all of this. So one evening she took me home. Her husband is American. So she and her husband came home with me and they told my parents, if you cannot support 7 children, can we adapt Tram? Because they want me to go back to school. They feel like I'm too young to put education behind, right? So my mom said, no, 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 we can do this. It's just the first few years. And the reason why my parents carry 7 children here, because they want us to have better life. But to get better life, you have to get bad life first. You have to go through this exercise first. So I don't know like when I can go back to school with all condition like this. So after she talked to my parents feel like they have to do something to put children back to school. So the younger one go to high school and elementary, but because I get here when I was 21, I was not allowed to go to high school. I'm old. So they told me that the only thing I can do is go to ESL class at night. And I graduate high school in Vietnam, but my high school diploma in Vietnam doesn't translate equivalently with the high school in USA. So either I have to take GED or I have to do TOEFL test in order to go to community college. So after they talked, my parents changed the focus now. I still go to work 8 to 5, but from 6 to 9 p.m. I go to ESL classes. I have to start something, right? So I go to ESL classes, and then after I think 6 months or a year, I decide to take TOEFL test. So listening to TOEFL test is actually the 5 subjects that you learn from GED is math and science and government history. If you can actually take the test and pass the test with the score they require, then you can go to community college. So that's what I did. And after 2 years, Karen, I passed the test. And now I go to Houston Community College. So that's just how I start with my education. My first 2 years in SCC, I learned ESL classes only because I can't talk to anybody. I need to pass all of them. What I call like prerequisites, like requirement before you can go to composition 1, which is starting counting credit for college, right? So the 2 years is pretty long period of time. I just in my mind, I say, even though I go for 2 year college like this, can I actually go to university? And at the moment in my mind, when I was younger, I want to grow up, become a teacher, like my friend teacher. So I love to become teacher, and that dream, when you come to USA, won't happen because language. So I have to give up that as well. All I want to do is go to school, get out of school, and get a job, decent job, so I can make money and helping my parents.
Wow, that's incredible. Just the amount of work schedule and then having to take ESL classes right after work. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Can you talk more about going from Houston Community College to and
Mhm.
then to University of Houston? How was the transition for you?
So I was very lucky when I attend Houston Community College. I met my English teacher, and I just actually saw her last year again after 38 years. So her name is Laura Sheehan. She's the ESL teacher, and then she's the one who helping me transition from Houston Community College to University of Houston. So after the first 2 years, I finished all what I call requirement for what I call first 2 year of college. So now I really want to go to university, and then to transfer, you have to have certain number of credit hours with your GPA that above 3. So you can actually declare your major and transition to University of Houston. So I did really well in school. The reason because I have my dictionary with me. Everything that I do, I translate from English to Vietnamese. Whatever I read, so American student can read one chapter like an hour. It might take me 10 hours because every single thing I read, I do not understand. So I have to translate that to Vietnamese to understand the concept so I can take the test. So I remember when I transitioned to university, it was really hard. The reason because now the subjects in the school is more what I call upper level in college. The term technology of each classes, like for example, audit, tax, and then uh, you know all the stuff that we take psychology or government history. It's not the term that I learned from ESL. The term I learned from ESL is helping me to communicate, basic communication. The stuff that in university is more technical now, right? So translate them will actually create what I call massive data that I could not connect anymore. The reason because like you take a sentence and you break the sentence by word, individual one, and you translate each of them and you put them together, it doesn't come out as its sentence anymore. So I get lost so much. And one time my text teacher say, "Hey Tram, I saw you do this in classroom." So I recording every single class and I listen that lecture again and again. And then I translate them. So one class that I do in the school, like schoolwork, is maybe 3 or maybe 5 times longer than normal student perform their schoolwork. So he recommend me not using dictionary anymore, but take the whole sentence and translate them high level so I can understand the concept rather than translate every single word and put them together. And then I completely lost, right? So I did what he recommended and I did well. So I slowly leaving my dictionary out of my life. The first 5 years, it's always with me, no matter what, where I go, what I do. His recommendation helping me move faster in school, but at the same time, I have to listen a lot of the recording that I do because when teacher talking and I take notes and I'm listening, and then I don't understand what they try to tell me, right? Because your brain is trying to do 3, 4 things at the same time, right? So most of the time I have to listen again when I got home and look at the notes that I write down to understand the concept to pass the exam. So the day that I graduate, I remember the day that I graduate University of Houston with accounting degree. I would thought this is like I won lottery ticket because I would never thought I can actually finish school. People maybe finish school in 4 years. It took me 7 years to finish to finish my degree. Um, it's just the dream come true for me. And be honest with you, Karen, at that moment, I don't know why I take accounting either. I don't know what does accounting do. So when I met the counselor, I said I want to become teacher, but when I come here, language is barrier. So what can I study? That so the counselor say if you're good with math, take accounting. In Houston, energy companies everywhere, accounting degree, very easy to look for a job. So when I hear looking for a job and making money, I said, okay, then let's go accounting. I have no concept what accounting does. I just go with the flow and get out. So that's just how I go through school. I have no idea what I take myself in, and then do accounting now is my 31 year now in this field.
That's great to learn. I was actually going to ask, what brought you to business and administration and accounting.
I have no choice. That's the only choice at that time.
So, I want to ask if there were any other defining moments for you in college. You spoke a little bit about like people that you met that helped you a lot, but I want to, ask you if there's any other moments that stood out to you, or any other people who helped you along the way that stood out to you.
Yeah, so I was very blessed um, in many years and many different ways. Always actually meeting good people, right? And supporting me and trust me and always motivating me to do better. The first person that I never forget is my first boss, the candy store. She is somebody that always there for me, mentally, physically, financially. And then the second boss is actually my ESL teacher. Somebody I remember, teacher is only teaching in the classroom. She took me to the shopping center because I wanted to have a second job to help my parents. She go interview with me. First time in my life that we go interview two people. So I interview for the job, but she's the one is the translator. So whatever the interviewer speak in English, she translate that English to a simple level that I can understand, right? So they allow her to come in and she translates. Sometimes she use her hand and her face expression, so I can actually understand what they ask. So that's just the second person that helping me join the workforce. The third person in my life was my also another boss when I was in University of Houston. I worked for GED program. I worked for the director of GDE program. She is the person who taught me I think, how to do interview professionally to get a job when I graduated college. She took me go shopping, buy my first suit. I don't have suit. I don't know how to dress professionally, go look for a job. She was there, take me go shopping, and then let me borrow the money to buy the suit. I still keep the suit here, even though it's pretty old now. So go buy suit and then practice every day when I come to work. And she acting like interviewer and I'm interviewee. So she keep practicing with me. She doesn't have to do that, but she did anyway because she see how much I struggle. And if I got my college degree, even though if the GPA pretty high, but you cannot communicate. When college recruit come to school, you will not get a job, right? So she's the third person in my life that brought me here today. The rest of other people in my career, when I start working professional in corporate America, every single boss that I work for, um, they see how hard I work. They see where I come from, what I want to be. And I always have one thing in my mind. When I do something, I will take it from a starting point and get it finished and completed. One thing that I do, I never defer stuff that I do because you don't know what happened tomorrow. So whatever happened today that you can do today, do it and give us your best because tomorrow is the day might not happen. So that's just my theory of life. And I always feel like if something happened tomorrow to me, I do not regret because I have done the best of today, right? So that's just how I teach my children. Give everything that you have, do everything you can, but don't defer. And that is the same theory that I carry with me at workforce right now. When I'm leading people at my accounting department, they see how I work. They see my what I call like life theory. I carry with me all the time, and they can see that, they can read through, and that's just one of the reasons, Karen, that people work with me and work for me. They never want to leave me, because I'm real. I actually say something and do something from my heart. I don't do that because the company pay me to do that. I do that because I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do, and I care for people who I actually work with and work for. So for me is you. Is you is the person who drive everything that you want to become.
So you've had a long, impressive career, over 30 years so far,
Uh-huh.
working in various positions in finance and accounting. Can you provide a brief timeline of your professional experiences and tell us if your professional interests have evolved over time?
So I started out working as an accountant in June 1993. At that moment, I think I worked for Tenneco Energy Trading and Marketing, where I got my degree. Um, Again, I started working here, and I remember clearly um, the day that I interviewed with Tenneco company, 8 people in the company interviewing me. And without the boss that I work for at GED, I would not pass the interview because she practiced with me for months, right? And the interview channel is like 8 people and take time from 8 in the morning to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I talked so much during the time that interviewing took place. So I got the offer and I started working for Tenneco. After I worked for Tenneco for 5 years, I got promoted and become first time in my life become what I call management members. So they see who I am and what I can do for the company. And I remember that the person who I work for, when he handed me the offer for the promotion, I sent it back to him. Um, I don't think I can be a leader. The reason because how I look, how I speak, and I'm petite. So people in corporate America, like very, I think not only at work, I think at this society, people look at your appearance, right? Look at you, look at how you talk, how you speak. And for me, to be a leader, to be the boss, that's important. I don't want to get that title and people treat me or look down at me. So I give back the promotion letter to my boss, and I said I don't deserve it, and I can't do this. So he said, "Oh, why do you think you cannot do this?" And I said, "Because the people in the team is much older than me. The people actually more experienced than me, stay here longer. I cannot lead people and people tell me what to do, and then I cannot tell people what to do either. You know, in my tradition, like I said, we respect older people. When you are the leader and you tell people what to do and they are older than you feel something not right, right? And I feel like very unrespect to tell people what to do. So I'm afraid that that will bring my career down because I'm stressed more than I enjoy doing it. So I told him that thank you, but I'm not taking the promotion. So he looked at me, he said, "You are the first one in my career that when people get promoted, they're very happy, and you get really nervous and scared and turn it back." And he said, "Why don't you try for 3 months? And if it doesn't work, I take it back." At that moment, I was pregnant, so I want to be healthy. I don't want to be stressed. I want to have like healthy baby as well. So I promised to do 3 months, and if it doesn't, then it's not me. So after 3 months, Karen, I feel things come naturally that I just be a leader. And I don't know what did I do different. But he said you do it anyway, that you just don't see it. So I agreed to keep that title. And since then, I move on as a management member since that time. And I moved to second company at the Duke Energy Trading and Marketing. I run the department of accounting department for settlement team. I do a lot of stuff like consolidate, closing office from local office and bring it back to headquarters. I'm very successful with that. And at that moment, when I moved to Duke Energy, my leadership skill is actually grow really fast. I become more confident on what I do. I become more confident as a leader, right? But once in a while, I feel like I'm not the leader. I just the employee, one of the employee do the job. So I know when I left Duke, the company doesn't want me to go because the employee at where I work, they say we really want to go follow her. If she's leaving the company, we follow her wherever she goes. So HR department have talked to me and say, you name the department, we give you the position you want, as long as you don't leave. So at that moment, I can see my value now. I never trust myself. I never have the confidence that I can do much more than what I can do accounting. But for some reason, I grow naturally that I can actually talk and lead people and can planning and organizing for the team. I think that's naturally coming because I'm coming from the big family and I was the older sister that leading so many things at home when parent not around, right? That's helping me to become a better person since when I don't know. And I think that's partial of that's coming from that background. So when I left Duke, I moved on to Sequent, where that I stay 20 years now. I'm working with many other people now. I'm not just taking care of accounting department. I look forward to the trading office, the scheduling. Sometimes I have to socialize with legal departments. Since I work for Sequent, my career now is just not make me become a better person and leader, but now I'm looking out for other people. How can I make someone else become success and succeed, right? So that's just when I agreed to leading the AAPI. That's just the first time in Texas for Sequent that we have what we call EAG, the Employee Resource Group, represent AAPI at work. And I know that since then, I've become more what I call vocal. I don't feel like I have to look like Elizabeth, like blonde hair and tall, speak really well. At this moment, I feel like because I'm different, I'm very unique person now. And I can see my value is much higher than other people who born here, who raised here, because I am different, right? That EAG and AAPI is actually on the other side of my career, helping me to become a better leader because I open window for many other people. And as time go by, I just want to do something for community. So not just for me, not just for my coworker. Now I just want to see when I come here 38 years ago, I don't have two outfits. Many people bring many things to my house, right? If without them, I don't have a lot of stuff like I do today. So my children grow up. This is a time for me that I think I want to do something for community. So during COVID, I took the classes called United Way for the leadership to become board member. So I took the class for 3.5 months and I passed the class and then I volunteer. Do you hear me? Karen?
Yes, I can still hear.
Okay, so I one day before my graduation day, uh, the United Way invite like four nonprofit president to join the graduation day for all the board members. The president of the CCC organization is actually come and talk to me because she know that I have accounting background. She's looking for somebody to come in and helping her finance department as well as the HR department. So I agreed to tour her office and see what they do. And I was so impressed with the CCC. So I agreed to accept the position and be board member in July 4 of 2023. I'm so happy to see that I can add value to the community where I actually survived for the past 38 years. I also volunteer at BPSOS for 5 or 7 years now, helping people who want to become US citizen. You know, when I took the test years ago, I almost failed the test. English is the barrier, right? And the same thing to these people. So I feel like this is something that I am very can relate myself to this. And after work, 2 days a week, I just attend the BPSOS classroom. I show up in a classroom acting like professor, like officer, so I can practice with the student who ready to take the exam and swear to become U.S. citizens. Many emotional moments when students pass the test. They saw me, they hugged me, they cry. Make me cry too because it's a big accomplishment. And I remember one year that I took the test back to where I work, and I have American people take the test. 70% of people at workforce fail the test. So I feel like, okay, this is not fair. This is not fair for all immigrant people that have to go through this when American people cannot do this. So my CEO is actually make everybody learn that test and become the IPO. That's just something for me is very, I think it's unique moment. It's fun, but at the same time add value, right? So many things I do and everything I do, I bring my family with me. My nieces, my nephew, my husband, my children, everybody volunteer. Doesn't matter 30 minutes or 1 hour. We enjoy that we can add value and help somebody.
So I want to move back a little bit. So you're currently Director of Finance and Accounting Special Projects.
Mhm.
Um, what are your current responsibilities in your role?
Yeah, so my roles is actually coaching and leading people is required. At the same time, I am supporting the front office. So Sequent Energy Management is the marketing company. So we buy natural gas and we sell, right? So we have 3 teams in accounting. We have that's what's under me is like gas accounting. We have settlement team, we have volume management, and we have assets management. The transaction that one day buy and sell, we settle for them. So we make sure that we owe somebody, we pay. And if somebody owes us, make sure they pay us. That cost settlement. The volume balancing is when you buy and you sell, you make sure all the decathlon unit of gas, natural gas moving from A to B, you make sure that recorded correctly in your trading system. So that's one team. Another team is optimization. It's called assets management. So that's another team, very unique. So somebody else have assets and they don't make money like you can. So they borrow us to do that for them. So they call assets management. So you are the manager, you manage their assets and then optimize the assets and making money. And then you share on the benefit. So those are the 3 teams that I work with very closely. And I always look at the process improvement. Company, not every single time they add on transactions, we allow to add people. right? So we have to look at the process that we do. Is this the best way to handle the business? Is this the most effective way? So I work very close with IT department and try to see if we can improve or automate the process that we do every day. Can we make it better? Or we can change the way how we do it, or maybe eliminate the process that we always do, but it doesn't add any value. So the process improvement become really big deal when William took over Sequent 2 years ago, right? So we look at it, and now with AI has come out right from nowhere. So we utilize that and see if we can add value to the organization. So something that I love to do now is look at, step back at everything I have done for 30 years. Does this have to be the same since the first day I graduated now, right? Because technology have changed daily. So I have done so much by looking at the process for the whole organization, and that's become my task mainly right now. I look at those processes and make improvement. If I can save money here and there, bottom number for company always better when you add value to the process you do.
So you mentioned earlier founding advising groups of AAPI employees. I wonder if you could talk more about how these groups support AAPI employees.
Yes, so the Sequent company, I think because we are in Houston, my headquarters before would be in Atlanta, now is in Oklahoma. If you travel to Atlanta and to Oklahoma, you don't see the diversified like you see in Houston, right? Theory in my accounting department, maybe 30% of workforce is Asian people. One of the time my boss asked me, say, Tram, why accounting look like Chinatown? I say, this look like Chinatown because Houston have all Asian people here. And he said, I just don't want to mention about this, like about color or the divide, but I have seen many accounting department, but this is very different. This accounting department is more like, this is called Chinatown, but if you look at it, you can see AAPI is actually a good thing that I leading that because many Asian people personality is very private, introvert, antisocial. Not because we hate that, but because we are not good at that, and we try to get far away from that, right? So AAPI, when I'm leading that, so for example, Lunar New Year, that's just something I bring it in to celebrate with the company and to share the culture so people understand is this important for us when we come to work the first 3 days of New Year's. So those are the days that I teach people how to say Happy New Year in Chinese, in Vietnamese, in Korean or Japanese. So people have fun and then explain to them why that we have red envelopes. So myself, I have to go online, Google them and learn. So I can actually translate and sharing that to employee, to the company, to my coworker. We also share food. Food is every time people get together, food is something is a tool to connect you and me, right? Good food, good conversation. So Vietnamese, Chinese, Philippine, India food is all good, and it's different than pizza and hamburger. So it's more tasty and it's playful. So every time I host the event, food is something that people would love to learn, not just eating, but learn how to make them and understand the meaning of each dishes that we brought to the table. AAPI also, because we was born and raised in a family that's just how we look and how we act. American culture, there are some good things that we need to learn from, right? Be outgoing, be outspoken, right? What is right is right. So sometimes when people say something wrong and we afraid to say something, American, it is wrong is wrong. They speak up. But with Oriental Asian people, you rarely see that. we very, I don't know, we silo. We don't want anybody hurt because we've been honest or be direct. Since I'm leading that AAPI, I feel like the team become more open and the conversation now connect rather than we hide, right? For example, if during the review, company performance review, if they do good, you say good. If they do bad, say bad and how you can help them, but not because you respect them and be nice and keep that. And, you know, for me, impact the bottom line of the company. So be direct doesn't mean bad, but you know when you say it and when to be outspoken, right? And if you feel like you under, what I call it, undertreated or didn't get treated like others, it's time to bring that conversation to management members. So I feel since the AAPI go live, everybody become more active, more involved, and they feel like, yes, I am different, but my different value. That's different add value to the organization. So I think that's create positive workforce, and mentally you feel you belong, right? You belong to organization who value differently. So that is important for me, not just become a chairperson or leading this organization, but I feel like we all have fun. We all the same. Yeah, we look different, but we should be treated the same, right? But not because you are different and then you get treated differently. That is the value that I feel like I add to the table. I bring to the table and speak up for many people that who always perform really well but get undertreated or under reward. Those are the stuff that I think it become more open now. And I can see after 5 years, people who join these employee resource group become more vocal. And you know, many of them become leaders in when they don't know through this what I call organizations. Also is the networking, right? These employee resource group bring people together. If you by yourself, you're not talking to anybody, you come to the office, you do your task, you go home, you have no networking. The networking is important, right? You under process, you understand the process, you know what you need to do, but you have no networking. Sometimes it's hard to move around. So it's important, many different ways. It's just not get together and eat and have fun. There are some lesson value added that companies see is important for any organization to bring it in. And this year, I moved my role. I get out AAPI and I become leader on the Women of Williams. This is the same group of people. I just moved my my title on the top. I give that opportunity for somebody. You know, I've been leading that for a while. I think it's new faces, new leader, new vision would be better. So I move on to Women of Williams. I feel like Williams always treated like minority. Doesn't matter they say equal or equivalent. We always get treated lower. No matter what we do, we always have to be working harder and try harder and more perfect than men. So moving to this topic is actually I'm woman, minority. So this is actually a different angle of my EIG now. But I feel like, okay, it's the same group of people, it's just different voice now. And now it's not looking at Asian or white or black, but we all women. Why do we bring women here? And what is the value that women contribute to the organization that organization need to be aware of that, right? Without women, this universe will be tough. But for me, Karen, it's important to be somewhere somehow and make everybody aware of what you do and be proud and I think, be confident and trust on your gut on what you take on. Any assignment have their own challenge.
So you spoke a little earlier about being involved with BPSOS, so Boat People SOS.
Uh-huh.
Can you talk a little bit more about the services that BPSOS offers and how you came to be involved in the organization?
Okay, so how do I get involved first? So when I'm leading a API for Sequence, uh, we select three nonprofit organization that we can support. So BPSOS on the list. So I Google and I look at it and I see this is actually close to what Sequent can do, can help. So I called the director at the BPSOS and I try to understand what they do. So BPSOS is actually a nonprofit organization provide ESL classes for immigrants. They serve 27 countries. Immigrants that come here don't speak English, so you go there and you learn English for free, right? After your English is go to I think level 5, this is when you can transition to the class called citizenship exam class because it's more difficult now because they're talking about a lot of stuff, a lot of government history, and you learn so much about the country where you are living in. So ESL completed, and then you move to the citizenship. When I came to USA, I didn't know anything about ESL. I learned from nothing, right? And then I took the US citizen. I almost failed the class. At that moment, there's no community, there's no organization helping anybody. You own your own, right? So when I hold this and I say, this is me, years ago. Can I do something to help somebody, right? So I talked to my API EAG at work and I say, I will call this organization. We will go there, visit and tour the office and see what they need us to help them, right? So 6, 7 of us after work, we go there, we tour the office and we saw ESL classes. Some of us interested, want to do that to help ESL classes. Some of us want to be in the US citizen. Majority want to help with the citizenship. So we divide the team in 2 different areas to help. So after work, we go there. We have the material. We read the material, we test the student verbal, and we practice, right? Not just one time. You practice, you can do Thursday evening or you can do Saturday after lunch. So some of us prefer to do Saturday because afterwards, some people have home obligation that they have to go home. So I can do Thursday, Saturday. Some weekend I do both. I do Thursday and Saturday. What I see is become US citizen is something immigrant people is important to them because not only they understand the government and they can talk, they can speak, they can communicate, but they can earn the benefit as a US citizen. And some people, it's important to them because they can sponsor their family from home to come to USA, right? So seeing them learning day and night, and most people is old, 40 to 60 years old. They work really hard daytime and nighttime. They have to focus on learning this. I feel like helping other and make impact on somebody else's life is important. And it's just not me. My company, many of us actually do this and bring their own husband and wife and children come to that BPSOS and helping as well. So I feel like with touching somebody else's life, we make impact on someone else's life is for me is a gift that no value that you can put the price tag to that volunteer work. This is meaningful and I know that we video this. One time we volunteer, we video and we bring it to corporate headquarters in Atlanta and we share with everybody in Atlanta what we do. It's make people so proud of Houston office. And I'm glad that we decided to pick BPSOS at that time. And now when I moved to CCC, it's funny that CCC working with PPSOS as well, because they standing there people when they have ESL class over there too. If they feel they're ready, they send over here to do US citizenship classes, and they find out that I'm over there too. So it's fun to do something that you can see what I call tangible volunteer work, and I can see the result immediately. I'm happy when everybody passed the test.
That's really lovely, meaningful work.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about your family now.
Mhm.
How many children do you have? How with your husband? How did you meet your husband as well?
Okay, so we met in University of Houston. He graduated before me, and he in WE majors. So after we get married, I have my first child when I start working at Tenneco. She's 30 years old now, and she worked for Herman Hospital. She's have her doctor degree in pharmacy, so she pharmacist. And 6 years later, I get pregnant second time, and I have my son. So he attend in University of Virginia and attend law degree. This is his second year at UVA. He have one more year, so he graduate next year, summer 2025. Both of them is actually the two people that I look up to every day. They work really hard, and they know I work hard for them, right? But I'm so blessed that they do so well that I don't have to be, balance work and life so difficult compared to many people. But I'm so blessed that they do well, so I don't have to save so much energy and focus on them, but much more focus on work and making money so I can provide financially and bring them to the community here that they can become a better citizen when they grow up. So they do well, and I'm so proud of to be a mother of those two. I look up to them because they mature compared to their age. They look at issue and problems, and sometimes they share their feeling and opinion on what I do, right? Or something I go home, I get stuck or get upset. I talk to them, and they give me that 2 cents. Every single time having conversation with them, I enjoy and I have fun. They moving out now. My daughter is in medical center area, and my son in Virginia. I talk to them every morning, and that is my routine. So they text me every day. Just want to make sure they doing okay. They healthy. They do well. But every single time that we have family topic that we need to discuss, we always get together. My husband is somebody that they go after for money, but every single else they come to me for like, mommy, can we get this when we do this? What do you think about applying here or get this offer, or should I change my resume the way how it look? What is your opinion? So even though they are my children, but I treating them as like my friends, right? I have somebody that close friends that I can share anything to them. And they've been very honest. For me, Karen, like I said, I'm so blessed having them in my life. They make my day. Every day is a happy day.
How important was it for you to educate your children when they were growing up about their heritage, so Vietnamese heritage?
Yeah, so this is very important. Like I said, I come into this country have nothing, right? They know that. Um, they respect the elderly, like I always teach them. So doesn't matter that you born in this country, but if you look into the mirror, you are Asian, right? You don't change the hair color because you born in USA. You don't have like light skin or tall and big and speak like, even though the languages is not the barrier anymore, but don't forget where you come from. So I'm always believe that is actually I think that's the biggest factor in their success is to find out where they come from and who they belong to, right? My culture is actually treating everybody. Education is number one. You know, culture is number one. Parents respect. If you cannot respect your parents, then you cannot respect anybody. So that is growing from the family. If that is successfully within the family, then they will become a better citizen. But if that is not success within the family, that would be tough. For me, that is how I teach and I raise them. I do see the differences between two cultures. So every single thing on the American side of it, if it's good, I utilize it. You know, not every single culture is perfect. So I have to combine Vietnamese, good part of Vietnamese and good part of American and combine them. So make the room for them to breathe. They are not me, right? I took them back to Vietnam 10 years ago to see where I born, to see how I get raised, how I get grow up. That's actually add more value to them rather than I just keep talking to them and let them watch movie. They witness the place and see the people and see the country where my mom and my dad grew up. And to be who they are today, that's just something for them to look up to. Look in the mirror. Mommy and daddy go really, really tough time. Very hard to survive. You don't have to go through that, right? But don't get spoiled because don't get anything for granted because you don't know what happened tomorrow. So for me, they see I work really hard. They see how I volunteer. They see how I give back to the community, how I perform at work. It's something that reflects to them. And they look up to me as well. But at the same time, we exchange. We exchange the good part of each of us. And then we talk about that. And it's funny for me, both of them understand Vietnamese. At the dinner table, I don't allow people speak English. You speak English enough at work and at school. So this is time to speak Vietnamese because I don't want them to forget. And they need to do that so they can communicate to my parents as well.
What was it like for you returning to Vietnam?
Returning to Vietnam, one thing that I feel like I have success story to share with my family. I have success career. Financially, I can support my family who are very poor in Vietnam. I can talk a lot about USA, right? At the same time, I miss my country. I miss many people that couldn't make it here. I miss everybody that I don't, you know, I grow up for the first 21 years with them. I miss that age. I don't have that age like everybody else had. However, to exchange for that, this is what I have today. I know that for me, if I get older and when I get retired, I want to split my time 50-50. I want 50 of my time would be in Vietnam and enjoy the end of your retirement with your own people. And the 50% of my time is sharing that time with my children. I feel like it's time for me to do something that I feel I'm happy. And then something I call it enjoy. And it looks like relax. My 21 years old when I came here, after the day I get married, have children, go to work, I did not have a break. Continuous, you know, it's challenge continuous for many years already. So the retirement is not bad. I hope that I can actually work up to when I turn 65, 67. And I hope I'm healthy so I can enjoy my life. I have not enjoyed yet. It's pretty busy and try to run and chase many things. For me, healthy is the key. So everybody at work, if they're not happy, they always say, "You always smile." So we don't know why you're so happy. I say, "Life too short." And I know that my daughter in pharmacy school, and she said, "Mommy, don't get stressed. Take it easy, relax, because stress have no medicine for it." So, so I told my teamwork, I say my coworker, I say, don't get stressed. Work is stress enough already. If you add more stress, you have no medicine for it. And the more work you get, the more stress you gain, and then you get older too. So you don't want to go down. You want to be healthy and enjoy life. So everybody, every time they see me, I walk into the office, I smile immediately. And everybody, she's here. I'm very energetic and I'm happy. For me, that makes the day go fast. If you get angry, you get upset, and you're mad all the time, your life you don't have quality 8 hours every day. So yes, not because I'm always happy. That sometimes I can actually hide really well. I keep a lot of stuff internally with me, right? That's something that I can share, something I can actually control. Most of the stuff that I cannot control, I hold back. When I don't talk, there's something happen. When I'm quiet, this is the time I get really deep down inside of me. There's something going on. But for me, be happy. Every day, wake up and you feel healthy. You are blessing for one more day.
That's a great lesson. I will remember
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. Every
Whenever
day I wake up, yeah, every day when I wake up and say, okay, this is a good day. I feel healthy today.
Okay, so we're moving on to last set of questions.
Hmm.
So first off, how would you identify yourself ethnically?
Um, Ethnically, I am Vietnamese. I grew up and I was raised in Vietnam, right? That never go away. And I am proud of who I am. I am proud that I have my parents who sacrificed so much. So I have what I have today, right? I'm happy that I have my sister, my brothers, have the same dream like I do. And we support each other. And then we all now have children, and we pass that out to my children, and make sure that they don't get struggled like we do. Financially, for sure, they don't, but mentally and physically might be something impact them that we don't know. So we want to make sure that we do the best as the parents. And for me, Vietnamese, or I think Oriental people, family is important, right? So keep that family go strong, because supporting not just you, it's everybody who related to you. And like I said, I'm very proud. If everybody's asked who I am, I say I am Vietnamese. I remember 2017. I was nominated to go to Women of Utility Conference as a speaker. For 2 months, Karen, I did not sleep. When I get nominated, I was so scared. I don't. This is the first time when I leading the EAG as the chairwoman. So my controller from headquarters say I nominate Tram to go this year. So I don't know why she nominated me, but I was so scared because the person who hosts the event annually, they interview me. So they want to make sure they have the panel speakers that doing well and all the story connected. I never be a public speaker. I only talk in front of the accounting department. So this is the big challenge for me. So I talk to myself in the mirror every day for 2 months. I got on the bus, I talk to myself on the bus. I practice my public speaking. And that day came. I show up and I couldn't eat. My head hurts, my stomach hurts, everything. It's just like so bad. And I was so lucky that one of the CEO from Energy Company, she from Louisiana, she came by, sit next to me. She said, "Hey, I saw your name on the program. You are number 5 speakers coming up after lunch." And I say, "Yeah, I cannot eat. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm so nervous now." So she said, "Oh, I will be the speaker right before me." In my head at that moment, first, right after lunch is a bad timing. Second, I speak right after the CEO of the company. So I guess really for me, it was like bad timing for both. And then she said, "Don't worry, just, after I finish, I will go back to the room and then you get up there and you look down, you see me, you just tell me about your story, your career journey. So you talking to me now. You don't get nervous. You just look at me and talk to me. Okay, so remember that." So I actually go to the bathroom, washing my face, and then I change my traditional outfit to Vietnamese áo dài, right? When she saw me, she said, "Whoa, this looks like fashion show." And I said, "No, I just want to tell people where I come from. I'm so proud when I wear this dress." So she said, "Okay, that's fine." So I get up there. I have 30 minutes to talk to the whole crowd. The first 2 minutes, my heart beat like 300 times faster. And I couldn't actually say anything because I thought I'd get a stroke very soon. And then after 2 minutes, I look at her and I start telling her my story. Um, I did not know 30 minutes go so fast. And when I finished, the whole conference, everybody stand up and clap hands. I saw many people was crying. So I did not know where that they so emotional because I did not cry at the time I speak. Many people come and hug me and they say this is the best conference that they've been through because it's so authentic and so real, right? That they never have anybody like speakers go up there talking about the career journey, so many challenges, and how do you overcome that. So I remember because I was a speaker, so Sequent have one table go for free, you don't have to pay. So 10 people at the company attend that conference with me. Everybody at Sequent was crying in tears. They hugged me and they say, "Tram, this is unbelievable." And I was so happy that my 2 months gone now. I don't know how much appetite I lost and I did not sleep well. It's over. That's all I know is over. And Karen, the next day when I come back to the office, the company put a big sign, say, "Welcome home and congratulations at the conference." And they have big cake and flower for me. They were so proud of me that I step out of my comfort zone and do what I don't feel comfortable. And they told me that, "Tram, you don't know that you have the skill naturally. You can talk. You can actually bring in your real story, touching many of us. Not only in the office, now people at the conference. That's just coming from all over the USA. They attend that conference. I call my controller in Atlanta. I say, "Thank you so much for letting people hearing my story." Because I never in 1,000 years, I would never thought that I can do this. And you have the confidence on me, right? You trust me. You give me an opportunity to share. And I owe you for that. And she said, "No, You did it for the company, and we're so proud of you. Many people attend a conference, send us an email, say how well you did. So for me, I'm so blessed, Karen. Many steps in my career, in my life, I have been like meeting people from left to right. Always give me the opportunity and trust me on many different angles that I don't see myself, that I can do it.
That's such a great memory. Thank you for
Uh,
sharing that with me. Um, so my next question is, what do you feel most proud of in your life?
I'm very proud of who I am today. Overcome so many obstacles and challenges. Many times I want to give up, right? But then I feel like I am not the only one in this country go through this challenge. I'm not the only one. And I'm not the only one success and succeed. There are many other people out there that they don't come to USA with parents, with siblings. They come here by themselves. They escape Vietnam, they escape from China or many other, country to come here to find freedom and have better life. I feel blessed that I got support from many different sources. Many people don't have that. I did sit down on many conferences. I hear many different stories. Much more people overcome in different angle of life and they survive. I got support. I'm proud of what I have done, but I'm so proud to listen to those stories. And for me, Karen, don't look up, but look down. Look down at too many people, have many, many difficulties that I have no support. You feel like you're so lucky that you survive, but you survive with many other hands pushing you and allow you to become who you are today, right? So for me, I'm proud of what I have done so far, and I never regret what I decide to do on any task that I have done. Um, I do with my passion. I do from my heart. I don't do it because the company pay me to do what I do. I do it because I love what I do, right? And when I volunteer, the same thing. I volunteer because I owe the community what they have given me for years and never asked me one time to give back. And when it's time, I decide to do this. When I do volunteer for BPSOS and also for CCC, I think I postponed it quite long, right? And for me now, my children's success, I have the career, I have everything that everybody wants to have. So it's time to give back, helping others, right? No other time better than this time. So I cannot hold back anymore. I hope everybody, if they listen to this video or they've been through what I've been through, try to do your best and try to give back. Every single day that I think when I give back, when I do something for somebody, God look down to you and protect you, because they know that you can do more. The more you give, the more you get. Life is always two-way, right? It's never like, I remember one person told me that God never take everything away from you, but God will never give you everything you want. So it's kind of balance out everything, right? And for me, that's a fair statement to every single one of us to remember, because no one is perfect. No one have everything. If you look at people from outside and say, oh, they're so rich, they have everything. That's not necessary, right? One life is have many components, financially, physically, mentally. Do they have everything? We don't know, right? So each of us have their own we have their own journey, we have different challenges, we have different difficulty, and we also have different happiness. How do you control all of that and make it become one so you can actually overcome and become success? I know for me, so many days that I sit on the bus on the way home, I have so many things that I'm stuck. I don't know how to resolve it. But after I share that when many people get their opinion, get their idea, the networking out there in life is very broad. When you get stuck, reach out to somebody, talk to someone, right? You are not alone. Many people out there have so many problems similar like you do, right? So when you go downhill or when you feel at your lowest point, reach out to someone. Reach out to someone. I think the conversation can go on and on and on. Somebody will willing to listen to you, and I think that can give you some advice, and some people can help you. So you are not traveling alone. Never feel alone. And then for me, I always feel that. And so everything I do, I feel like somebody will be behind me or watching under me or above me and helping me. Give me the energy and feel like I can do this, right? I can take on more assignment. I can take on more work. I can do more tasks. I can do more volunteer. My mom say, "When do you stop?" I say, "Mommy, if I stop, I'm sick." That's mean I just lay down. I don't have any more energy. I think is you. It's you because if you learn to live and you learn to give, the more you do, the better you become. Everything, not just life only. Everything you do is through practice.
This is just very inspiring. I can just speaking with you, I can feel how passionate you are.
Oh, thank you, Karen. I've
Um,
learned so much from many people.
so I want to learn a little bit more about you. So what are some hobbies that you have?
Oh, I have many. Like I said, I'm the person don't sit still. I make my time always with activities. And something during COVID, I learned how to make macarons. It's the most difficult cake or dessert, and it's so elegant. So I failed almost like 200 times. I watch YouTube's, and then I go to Facebook and I'm chat. I ask people, why do I do this? I'm still falling, like everything not come out correctly. And again, I met somebody on Facebook, and she has the macaron bakery, and she said, "Okay, I would teach you. Promise me you don't, beg to become as your business because that's her business." So during COVID, I learned how to do that, and then Sequent is actually go through what I call yearly United Way, and I donate all my macarons to United Way. And I was so surprised that people supporting me, they order until I say no more order. Because I can't bake. I cannot bake every day like this. Macaron take a lot of time, right? So some people order $200. And it's like, if I say $3, even $200 is a lot of cakes that I have to bake. So it was like every year, macarons becomes my to-go, to-do list because people love my macarons. So funny when I bake, I bring my team here and they can decorate a cake. And then we donate everything we bake and to United Way. So they can take that money, help people who need the money for whatever reason. I love photography. I become really good with that. Also during COVID, I bought a camera and I go to YouTube. Every day I get on YouTube, I learn how to take picture. So since the day that this is my second year now, I take a lot of photo for events, community events, company events, and also for the place where I volunteer. If they have any festival, they call me, say, "Hey, can you come take picture?" So everything I do, I put into a perspective like is useful. It's just not for entertainment only, right? The more that I give, the more I practice, the better I do the task. So that is the two things that I love to do. I love cooking. I cook a lot. Every single day I go to work to downtown, from downtown to Katy. I take the bus like each way like an hour. I got on the bus. First thing I do, I go to cooking channel and I watch the several people I admire the cooking, and I cook and then weekend I go give the food to my parents, to my children. I love cooking and then enjoy when I cook. And it's give me, I think it's just like a moment that I feel like artistic combined, and it's release my stress. You know, when I cook, I enjoy. I don't eat a lot. I just put the dishes display and then take picture of it. But that's what I do. I used to love scrapbooking. Every single trip that we go, you know, family travel, I make an album. I design my scrapbook. I stay up really late to make albums after albums. But again, for me, one time my boss told me that he was surprised that I have right, left and right brain, because people technical with numbers don't do good with art. And he said, you do have both. And he said, Tram, this is shocking. And that is funny. One year I was selected as Employee of the Year. He has to give a speech about me. And that is one thing he brought up. He said, she's really good. This number, really good person, really good with numbers. However, she's good with scrapbooking. I have a team do scrapbooking. We get together and we bring all the supplies and we share, right? And then you can bring the picture of your family and I bring my picture, and then we all share idea. We buy magazines so we can get idea. We go to YouTube. This is something that you can relax and at the same time, you know, make memories out of that. And I have fun. I'm very busy, Karen.
It sounds like it. But good busy. Yeah.
Yeah, good busy.
Meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a couple questions left. I would like to hear how you would describe the Vietnamese American community in Houston. Like you spoke before about how there wasn't that many Vietnamese people here at first, of course, but now there are. So I would like to hear about your take on the changes of Vietnamese American communities in Houston, and if you have any hopes for the community in the future.
Yeah, so I love Houston, and that's why I stay here since the day I came to USA. It's super diverse city, right? Everything in Houston, doesn't matter how many places I travel. Houston also the best city in the world. It's like the place to stay, cheap. The food is actually so good. There's so many country here, and you know, people very friendly. Um, I'm proud of who I am, and I'm proud to be called Houstonian, not just Vietnamese, but I'm so proud of the city that allows so many immigrants coming in and make the city become the best, right? Um, you know, when I traveled to Chinatown on Bel Air, one day I was seeing the street names have American name and Vietnamese street name. It's make me so proud of I am Vietnamese, because Vietnamese street name, that's is all the street in Vietnam. Now it's actually on Bel Air. The main boulevard of Houston allow community to put that on the street. That means they acknowledge who you are and where you come from. So I'm so proud to be Vietnamese and be Houstonian. I see the community get bigger and bigger, but then bigger not in the bad way. Some city get really big and become messy, right? We get bigger, but we get acknowledged. so well. When I attend United Way training program to be board the director, I'm so proud that the charts show the population of Asian and then the salary of Asian community and the diploma Asian community is the really high scale. You know, I sit at the back, but I'm so proud because all the good one, we're on top of every single ethic. Why do we have that? Back to the root. This is how we are. This is how we get born and raised to become a better community, you know, that as a citizen, not only just the daughter or the son or the parents, but you are supporting this community to become a better place to live, right? And for me, I'm so proud because that tradition now is actually carried out to the city and it's been acknowledged. That flow chart is done by one professor from Rice University. He retired last year. So he came to the classroom and he do that, what I call like statistic every year. So they can see how city, what area that city need to improve and what area that we don't need to worry and why something flip up and down month to month, year to years, right? When I saw that first time in my life, been here many years, I did not see that. Now it's put into a perspective. It's the data that university is actually collected and showed to the classroom. So for me, Karen, I would not exchange Houston, Texas for anything. I think this is the city I will stay, I will retire, and until the day I die.
All right, so last two questions.
Mhm.
Do you have any message you want to give to your children whenever they might watch this interview?
Oh yeah, so to my lovely children, right? Like I told you, I am the luckiest. I think I'm the luckiest mom on the universe. That I have two of them very different, but the differences is so unique that I can actually treat them like my friends. And I look up to them every day to become a better person, not just become a better mother. Um, who I am today, since the day I have them, I become better and better, right? I know how to balance work and life. I know how to look at issue different angle. Um, I know how to listen. Uh, Asian parent never listen. They always think parents always right. My rule is my rule. You cannot override my rule. So for me, I learn from what they have done in their life, and then I take it out for me as a person come to this country really late in my lifetime. That is the value lesson that my children give it to me that I don't have to learn from the society, but learning directly from them, right? This is how they grow up. This is how they get things and how they look at things differently than I am. Uh, it's not, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just how I can compromise them and to be better. And I think this is a very valuable lesson for me. I am so blessed that they take the tradition that I carry for many years. They continue to carry that. And they picked up all the good ones and to become a better person. And I think they will add so much value for the city. My son decided to practice law in Texas, so he would come back to Texas. My daughter practice in memorial home and right now she saved so many lives. I admiring them for so much evening, weekend, late night. They started to become who they are today. They chasing their dream and they give me something that I feel like is the tool for me to chasing my own dream, right? I give up many things, but one thing I don't give up is my children. they are my energy. They give me, the oxygen that I can breathe in and out every day and become very productive at work and become a good parent at home. So I owe them for that. And for me, if they listen to this video, they know that I say this from here, from my heart. And I love them unconditional.
Okay. So, last question. Is there anything that you would like to add that we have not covered yet?
No, I feel very thankful that I attend that CCC annual event a few months ago and get to know Rice University have this HAAA program. Um, I feel like this is actually something so valuable for the community. um, it's not just recording for history, for record of data, but this is to pass on to many people who needed to listen and who need to feel like motivation. There's someone out there have some issue or maybe some challenge like you do. So don't give up. I feel like the sky is the limit. You just have to give your best. And if it doesn't come out right, that's just okay. We are different. Not because A% success and then B have to be success. Some people don't go from A to Z successfully, but they end up somewhere that they feel they're happy and they feel they value to the organization, to the society, to the family. Never feel like you are alone, right? You have people, you always have somebody to talk to. And for me, this is the resource that people, I think this is program that helping many other people out there to believe in themselves and give themselves credit. A little thing that you do, give yourself credit so you feel motivated and you feel happier. You don't have to become somebody. There's no need to. You just have to be you and be true and be honest to yourself, and everything else will follow through. And all you do is your commitment. Don't do it just for the checklist. Do it for your heart telling you this is the right thing to do. And if that time you have that capacity, you available, push it through. You can do it. And for me, I feel like if I can do anything, many other people out there can do this as well. I am no one, and I know many success story out there that I listen, I attend conference. Those moments give me additional like bonus, so for me can go further and longer. I love listening to all of this, so every time the company have conference or organization have any conference, invite people coming in. Sometimes I just listen on YouTube or TED. It's give me some perspective that someone can, nobody can teach you. It's just you teaching yourself. And if you discipline well enough, I think you can do whatever you want.
Okay, I think that's a really great note to end on. I have loved listening to you, learning from you. So thank you again for speaking with me today.
Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you to the school, the organization. I feel like I'm so blessed meeting many people, and Rice University is one of the best school in Houston, Texas for many years. I know that in my dream, I could never attend the school. I can never actually qualify to enter the school. I visited the school many times. Like I said, I took my children there. They want to attend the school, but again, it's just all everything happened for a reason. So never take things negatively and feel like it's not your time yet. Then there are many other windows, right? One close, open another. Don't close every single one of them. So I'm very lucky that the HAAC or HAAA at Rice University take this time and recording this video for me. This is I think this is the gift that no one give it to me. The school is actually do that for me, and I'm so happy that I can keep this later on for my family, and I think for many generation later on can actually listen and watch. And thank you again. And if you can pass that message for me, uh, I appreciate so much for everything you guys have done for the community.
Yeah. Thank you.